We don't judge the future of someone, and therefore we don't make dua against people just because they're not Muslims. We don't do that against nations of people. That license has been taken away forever. That license wasn't even given, and we are the final ummah, which is we are the ummah of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was not given to him. That was not given to him. Every other nation, لَيَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ بَغْتَةً وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. The punishment comes out of nowhere. Once it comes, there's no stopping it. لَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً وَلَا يَسْتَقْدِمُونَ. They can't delay it. They can't bring it sooner. Once it's there, it's there. فَإِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهُمْ. And the ajal of Quraysh came, and then Allah said 4 more months. That's why Rasulullah is rahmatan lil alameen sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But now coming back to the dua of Nuh alayhi salam, he first said those people that Allah has already written off. Fine, I'm writing them off too. If Allah hates someone, then I will hate them. If I know for a fact Allah hates someone, then I have license to hate them. But on top of all of that, he said, Rabbi ghfirli, Master, forgive me. Forgive me. The only one who's not doing sins in that entire nation is who? Nuh alayhi salam. And he starts with himself, forgive me. So before we're concerned about destruction of someone else, we're supposed to be concerned about our own selves. Number one, then he says, wali walidayya. You know how old Nuh alayhi salam is, 950 years. So his parents lived a long time ago. And he still remembers his parents in his dua. What does that teach you? It doesn't matter how old you get. It doesn't matter how long it's been. Some of your parents, your grandparents now, and your parents have passed, your grandparents have passed, don't ever forget them in your dua. You know what we learned from that? It's not just the disbelievers that need to be seeking forgiveness. Just because we believe doesn't mean we're beyond forgiveness, right? We are in desperate need of forgiveness. And we don't even have to know what sins we made. Nuh alayhi salam is not counting particular sins. He says, he's acknowledging there are things I may have done that I don't even know. And when you make dua for the forgiveness of your parents, you don't think of, yeah, my dad was pretty messed up. Ya Allah, forgive the other times he was messed up. No. You don't have to count your father's sins. Allah knows those. Or your mother's sins. You just make dua in an open sense. رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ وَلِمَنْ دَخَلَ بَيْتِيَ مُؤْمِنًا. Now listen to this. This should be enough. The only people that are believers are the ones that come to him. Right? That's it. I mean, this is beautiful because he's not only making dua for the past, he's making dua for the future. The believing men and believing women that will come in the future. Right now he made dua about the previous generations, right? Or coming generations of the disbelievers, and said they will not give birth to anyone except more sinful, because Allah has told him that. But he doesn't know that the survivors are going to only have good people in the future. So he says, Ya Allah, forgive believing men and believing women, even going into the future. What does that teach you and me? We need to be thinking not just about ourselves, we need to be thinking about our children, but not just our children, their children, their children, and their children. When we think about Islam, we're supposed to be thinking about the next century, the next 2 centuries. What are we leaving behind? How are they going to hold on to La ilaha illallah? How are they going to carry this deen with confidence? How are they going to be people of istighfar? وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. And then he goes back to the disbelievers again. وَلَا تَزِدِ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا تَبَارًا. Don't enhance the wrongdoers now anymore, except in more destruction. So from this dua we learn that there are people that are not Muslim, but they may have iman inside them. And we cannot judge that. You know, in Quran, Allah will tell us there are people who came to the Prophet ﷺ, heard the Quran, and you know what they said? It's his Quran's words. These are not my words, Allah's words. He said, "Inna kunna min qablihi muslimin." They came to the Prophet and said, when they heard this, we were already Muslim before this. Ya Allah, we think the Muslim is the one who takes the Shahada and accepts Islam. Yes, but there's an Islam inside the heart also. And they just hadn't met this light, hadn't met that light. And so they say, even before this, we were in acceptance of Islam. We were in submission to Allah before. And Allah recognizes those people. He knows what's inside of their hearts. Allah tells us about the people of the book, min ummatun qa'imatun. Among them, there are people that are upright, the good people. يَتْلُونَ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَهُمْ يَسْجُدُونَ يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَيُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. They're considered among the righteous. Even among them, there are people who make sajda. They command the good, they forbid the evil. The qualities of believers are among them. So don't dismiss so quickly that they will never have iman, or Allah will never forgive them, or they'll never come to La ilaha illallah. You don't know this, and I don't know this. So it's not just iman as in someone who declares iman. Iman is also someone who may have it in their heart and it hasn't reached the tongue yet. It hasn't hit yet. Just because it's not come out doesn't mean it's not inside, right? So we will never ever know. I leave you with this one quick story and I'm done. You know, my kids need my daughter, she has a very severe allergy to like non-vegan diet. So there's very few vegan bakeries in the area and here in Dallas. There's one in Fort Worth. I drive 17, 18 miles to get her cookies from there because you can't get cookies anywhere else. So I go get her cookies from there. The guy at the counter, tattoos, big jack dude, bald, tattoos on his skull, in the scalp, earring, looks at me and goes, Numan Ali Khan? I was like, is there a biker gang that's out to get me or what? He goes, yeah man, I finished listening to Baqarah. I was like, you did? Yeah, when are you going to start Ali Imran? I was like, oh, soon inshallah. Inshallah. And we exchanged numbers and we talked afterwards and subhanallah. You know, we judge books by covers too quickly. Too quickly. Who knows where Allah put Iman? And who knows, nobody would have looked at Umar bin al-Khattab before Islam and said, this is going to be one of the most pious human beings you'll ever meet in your life. That wasn't going to happen. People weren't thinking that way. But it happened. So you have, this is the lesson that I wanted to share from the dua of Nuh alayhi salam. Believing men and believing women should be included in our prayers, the ones we know and the ones we don't know. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us humble towards others and not judgmental. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum.